last day of school for the term. Don't have year 11 today because they're on camp, so I think I've got a year 9 English, which will be something different. The gloominess of the day, I'm actually finding quite poignant. We had a funeral last night for a friend and colleague who passed away quite suddenly and unexpected of a heart attack 2 weeks ago. He was my supervisor and mentor for a short while, years back, before moving on to become a principal of his own school. But he was a really, really strong advocate for public education and equity in education. Will be deeply missed by all of his friends, family, colleagues and students. It has hit our school quite hard because of how sudden it is. 1st of July, first day of a new financial year here, which means I've got to work on my tax for last year. We've got a 2-week break. I've got my fire brigade training tomorrow. Seriously hoping my back is going to be up to it. Feeling much better than it did last Monday, like on Monday. And I can shuffle around. And when I've got my walking stick, I can get around. But I'm probably going to have to wear my back brace. Just 3.5 hours, and I've got to leave early because it is over in Hornsby. And once that's completed, then I can take part in the training exercises that we have around our street. At the moment, all I'm allowed to do is observe if they're on. And I hope my back starts to feel better so I can finish that retaining wall, get that bottom one done, and then start working on the next section. And really want to get this front yard done. It's not a small job, especially when there's all the preparation of your material you've got to do. I think today is the day I need to put in my numbers for the timber show excursion so we can get the student tickets. My timber students in particular would really get a lot out of going on the excursion. Kids in the past have. I really hope they have past HSC projects on display. The way that they choose projects for the display is by markers who travel around, and if they identify a project that should go in that display, they put a dot on it. Blue dot, red dot, can't remember. But last year, because of COVID, actually the last 2 years because of COVID, that external marking process didn't happen. I'm wondering how some of those projects might have been selected and whether that's going to happen, because that's a highlight of the timber show for the students. Other than that, it's just an excellent industry show to go to. That's why I've invited construction students as well. I think the last time I went, I only took like 3 or 4 students, and they got a lot out of it. Yay for the holidays! My wife said the weather forecast is for it to be like this for the first week. I realised earlier in the week that I needed to get more of the dog's food, and as some of you may know, it's a hard thing to find. There's only 2 places I know of in Sydney that sell it. Thankfully, the place down in Penrith has it in stock. They close at 1 and it's just after 12, and I thought I'd make use of the trip, and you might see the big green bins in the back of the truck. They're full of scrap metal and cans and like basically just steel. They've been slowly just getting filled up and filled up and filled up, and I thought, get rid of them, because then I can use the bin for other stuff in the yard. The steel recycling place shuts at 2. I've also got some bottle and can recycling in the return to earn machines. So start the holidays clearing out the place a little bit, figure out what we can do in this weather. that's one job done. Got the dog food. Getting out of practice of my filming. I should have had the camera just facing so you'd see me walking in and walking out. Go across to the metal recyclers that close in an hour and a quarter, so I'll get over there in time. So that's done, and there was a lot more weight in steel than I considered. It said my total weight was 80 kilos of steel, and steel is never the most lucrative thing to be recycling, but it's currently at 22 cents a kilo. And I remember when there was a time when we were bringing stuff here from work, and I think even me just picking up steel that I was taking into scrap, and it was only 9 cents a kilo. That's the lowest it's been. So for every 100 kilos, you'd basically get $9. So for this lot, because it was 80 kilos, I came away with a little over $17. The way fuel prices are at the moment, that's not a lot there either. Like, I would not have driven down and done this as a trip on its own, but because I needed to get dog food, which I'd forgotten to get during like the week, one day coming home from work or whatever, has made the trip worthwhile. Get rid of that rubbish out of the yard, regain use of the bin, and put a little bit of money in the bank account. Now I've just got to go to the return and earn machine, which is back on the way back to the freeway, and throw my bottles and cans through there, which should be an extra $5-6. So there's the recycling centre, the return and earn, and there's an app now that you can do, so when you go over, you scan it in your app, and whatever money you earn goes straight into like your PayPal or whatever else you set up. So there's no one at the glass one, so I might go and do my glass first. That's all done. Just under an extra $7 added into the account. Every little bit counts now. It was a bit frustrating when I filled up the other day because I hadn't made the initiative to stop somewhere else closer to work or to the house. And so where I filled up down towards the coast, near where I went to the funeral, and it was $2.39.9, so basically $2.40 for a litre. And then the place I usually stop at near work the following morning was $2.25. But the trouble was, I was down in Cronulla with only 5 litres of fuel in the tank. It was a big bill. 15 cents a litre difference on 70 litres is a decent amount. Welcome to mountain living. Stopped at the fruit shop to get some things as well, and the weather right now, it's a lot thicker and misty up here. So I think we're up in the cloud level. So it's just constant. So it's been a bit more than just rain. It's been really gusty. You see the leaves blown in on here. There's stacks of leaves down in the backyard. I'm standing up here because the wind blew so hard that it ripped the brackets at the bottom of these things down, and these things are just banging against the house. So got myself a little bit wet fixing that up. There's going to be no going out and doing anything. Water everywhere. I'll show you the front yard. The front yard looks flooded. Front yard is just flooded. And from here it goes down under the wood and down around the house.